Global Lens on News9 Live with me, Neha Khanna. Now, if you love to travel, the next story is for you. If you hold a Singapore passport, well, you should consider yourself very lucky. Why? Because it is now the most powerful passport in the world. That's right. According to the global passport rankings for 2023, Singapore's passport is right at the top. What does that mean? It means citizens of Singapore can visit 192 destinations out of 227 around the world without a visa. The Henley Passport Index, which has released these rankings, measures global travel freedom in terms of how much visa-free and visa-on-demand access to the world citizens of different countries enjoy. For 5 long years, Japan enjoyed the numero uno position, but this time it's down to the 3rd spot, which it shares with South Korea, Austria, Finland, France, Luxembourg and Sweden. The 2nd position is split between Germany, Italy and Spain. With one of these passports, you can travel to 190 global destinations visa-free. Now, if you're wondering where India figures on this list, here it is. The Henley Passport Index places India's passport at the 80th spot. It is up 5 places since 2022. That means Indians can now travel to 57 destinations without a visa. India's rank ties it with countries like Togo and Senegal. Let's break this down further for you. While Indian passport holders have visa-free access and visa-on-arrival access to multiple countries, including Indonesia, Thailand, Rwanda, Jamaica and Sri Lanka, they still need a visa to enter 177 destinations across the world. Some of these countries include China, Japan, Russia, the United States and European Union countries. Meanwhile, the United States, which once topped the rankings just about a decade ago, is now in the 8th place. The United Kingdom, after a Brexit-induced slump, jumped 2 places to the 4th place. Well, if these are the most powerful passports in the world, are you wondering which ones are the worst? We'll answer that for you. The worst passports to have are those of Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan, which is right at the bottom. With an Afghan passport, you can only hope to visit 27 destinations visa-free. The Henley Passport Index, released by a London-based global citizenship and residence advisory firm, is based on data provided by the International Air Transport Authority and covers 199 passports and 227 travel destinations. The US and the UK, though among the top 10, have been on a downward trajectory over the last decade. Till 2014, these 2 countries jointly held the #1 spot. Now, according to the Henley Passport Index, the average number of destinations that travelers are able to access visa-free has nearly doubled in the last 18 years, from 58 in 2006 to 109 now. However, the travel freedom gap between those at the top and the bottom of the rankings is wider than ever. Citizens of Afghanistan, as we said, are only able to visit 27 destinations without a prior visa, just below Iraq with 29 destinations and Syria with 30. At the other end of the spectrum, Singapore has been busy securing greater travel freedom for its citizens over the past decade, gaining visa-free access to 25 new destinations. The UAE has also done very impressively. It has added 107 destinations to its visa-free score since 2013. And of the countries in the top 10, the United States has actually seen the smallest increase in its score, securing just 12 additional destinations. Greg Lindsay from Cornell Tech's Jacobs Institute says in this Hamley and Partners report, the story is a simple one. By more or less standing still, the United States has actually fallen behind. America's relentless slide down the rankings is a warning to its neighbor Canada and the rest of the Anglosphere as well. Well, those are all the details for all you travel enthusiasts out there. Like we said, if you are a Singapore passport holder, consider yourself lucky. All right, let's now turn our attention to Russia and its President Vladimir Putin. Well, Hardly a day goes by when Putin is not in the headlines. So why is he making international headlines today? Let's get you the story. Russian President Vladimir Putin has decided to attend next month's BRIC Summit virtually. South Africa, the host country's presidency, had earlier said that Putin would not be attending the summit at all. The statement from the office of the South African president had described the agreement for Putin not to attend as mutual and had said it had come about following a number of consultations on the summit. But later on, Russian president spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said Putin has decided to participate in the BRIC Summit via video conference and that it will be full-fledged participation. Moscow has also said that Russian Foreign Ministry Sergei Lavrov will attend the summit in person in Johannesburg. So why has this decision been taken? Why is Putin not going to be physically present at the summit? Why is he attending it virtually? Now, Vladimir Putin is wanted for war crimes in Ukraine. The International Criminal Court has issued an arrest warrant against him. And as a signatory to the ICC, South Africa faced a huge diplomatic dilemma as it would have been under obligation to arrest Putin the moment he set foot on their soil. Pressure on the South African government to act on this arrest warrant was mounting, with the opposition insisting that South Africa must honor its international obligations. However, the South African president, Cyril Ramaphosa, had said any attempt to arrest Vladimir Putin would be a declaration of war against Russia. Now, Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, as we said, will represent the country in person at the two-day summit, and Putin will participate via video link. Supporters of Russia have criticized the decision, saying South Africa should have insisted and used its sovereignty to protect and defend its friend Putin. But South Africa's invitation to Putin had actually caused quite a controversy both nationally and internationally. It was seen as a move by the government to stray from the middle ground that it has sought to tread alongside other African nations in the war between Russia and Ukraine. But President Cyril Ramaphosa's government developed cold feet as pressure to arrest Putin mounted. The biggest opposition party, the Democratic Alliance, went to court to try and force the authorities to arrest Putin should he set foot in the country. Global human rights group Amnesty International was also part of this challenge. Court documents reveal that President Ramaphosa was firmly against any such move, stating that national security was at stake. In an affidavit submitted in court, Ramaphosa stated, "Russia has made it clear that arresting its sitting president would be a declaration of war. It would be inconsistent with our constitution to risk engaging in war with Russia," he said. Moscow has consistently described the ICC arrest warrant as outrageous and legally void because the country is not a member of the organization. The African continent remains split over the war between Russia and Ukraine, with some countries showing reluctance to back United Nations resolutions condemning Russia for its actions in Ukraine. The reasons for this vary from country to country, but experts say one factor is the economic ties that some, including South Africa, have with Moscow. A sanctioned Russian oligarch, Viktor Vekselberg, is said to be one of the biggest donors to South Africa's ruling party, the African National Congress. Just for a little background information, BRICS is an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa. The BRICS grouping is seen by some as an alternative to the G7 group of advanced economies. The leaders of Brazil, India and South Africa will attend the summit. BRICS is a bloc of emerging economic powers and was formed in 2019. South Africa joined the following year after an invitation from China. Ethiopia, Iran and Argentina have applied to join the bloc. Well, that's all the time we have on this edition of Global Lens. If you have been, thanks so much for watching. Do join us again tomorrow. Good night.
Gautam Adani, one of the richest men in the world, or a business honcho, accused of manipulating the market.
अदानी जी 609 नंबर से दूसरे नंबर तक कैसे पहुंचे? सिर्फ एक सवाल पूछा, नरेंद्र मोदी जी, आपका अदानी जी से रिश्ता क्या है?
He has given the space, the railways, the airport, which he has no experience also. So the country's interest has been compromised.